And we are live. Kris Gethin here, CEO of Kaged Muscle, and we are about to destroy delts. As I just said to the guys a little bit earlier, we're going to try to grow a fourth head to our delts today. It's going to get nasty. I feel kind of nervous before this workout, which is a good thing. You know, if you get into a fight, when you're in the fight, it's not so bad. But before the fight, it's those nerves. Not that I'm a brawler or anything like that. If any of you grew up in Wales, you know what I'm talking about. It's just a part of our growing up, I guess. But anyway, that's how I feel now. So I know it's going to be a good workout because what I've got written out in front of me is making me nervous. So we're going to prioritize our rear delts today, starting off with a kind of a superset. So we're going to start off with a supported rear delt movement, and then we're going to go into an unsupported rear delt movement so we can get out a few more reps. By using our torso, a little bit of our lower back, we're able to get a little bit more assistance in order to get out those extra 10 reps that we're going to go for. We're going to start off with 15 reps, supported, jump off, get a lighter weight, and put out another 10 reps. So I might even be able to do it with the same weight if I'm feeling tough enough. Before I get into it, just so you guys know, all Kaged Muscle supplements today, and today only, is 30% off at Bodybuilding.com. I've had my pre-caged, that's why I'm kind of amped now, ready to rock and roll. I'm sipping on my in-caged throughout this workout, my intro workout, so let's smash this, okay? So I've got the weights here. To begin with, I've already warmed up, by the way, so I'm not getting straight into this. So I've done a couple of warm-up sets to get the blood into the muscle, synovial fluid into the joints, and warmed up the head. All right, let's have it. 15 reps. All right. Okay, now I'm jumping off, and I'm going to hold on to the same weights because I'm feeling tough. Do 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll notice I did about 17 repetitions here, and I did 11 repetitions here. Even though 15 and 10 was the guide, if I can get more out, I will, because I'm trying to find failure in order to succeed here. Any questions for you guys?
Someone on YouTube says, "Happy birthday, Kris."
Thank you very much. It was my birthday yesterday. I appreciate it. It was another birthday in denial, so I'm still in my 30s.
This question from George on YouTube. What are some of your favorite warm-up exercises for shoulders?
Warm-up, so before we started filming, I'm warming up my rotator cuffs, holding a dumbbell. Sometimes you can have it supported, like on a preacher bench or something like that. And you can also do it with a cable coming away from the body, abducting, and then you can adduct coming across the body. Sometimes I'll lie down, support a resistance band, and do the same sort of thing. So that's what I usually do. And then some normal conventional warm-ups.
You mentioned that you drank your pre-caged before you started working out. Wolf Alpha from YouTube wants to know what your favorite flavor of pre-caged is.
Favorite flavor? God, you know what? It's probably the orange crush. That's my favorite flavor. But I tell you what, I'm not fussy. I'm a typical bodybuilder. I like all the flavors, and I particularly like them because they're naturally flavored. I don't like any of that artificial crap, you know. Artificial stuff is a lot of the time is banned in European countries, and I guess I've kind of brought that with me. I'm just used to that, so I just try to go as natural as I possibly can. We're ready to rock and roll. Man, I haven't even got my breath back yet. Bloody hell, they're pushing me hard today. All right, let's hit it again. Second set, 15 reps, let's have it. 1, 2, 3. That's 16. Oh. Okay, 10 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Oh man, I only had 10 in me then. Whew. By the way, guys, thank you ever so much for nominating us for the Kaged Muscle, to get Kaged Muscle into the Bodybuilding.com Supplement Awards. We've been nominated for 9 categories, 4 that you can vote upon. And that is the best brand, Kaged Muscle, best breakout supplement of the year, that's our Amino Synergy, and protein, which is our whey protein, micro-pure whey protein isolate, and influential trainer of the year, myself. So please go and vote, and I appreciate your loyalty. Thank you.
This question from Gwen on YouTube. If you're struggling to get the mind-muscle connection with your delts in particular, any exercises or strategies that you would advise?
This is what I do. I will increase my citrulline on those particular days. So on my back days and my hamstring days, I generally increase my citrulline. So I'll put pure citrulline added to my pre-workout in intra-workout. Another thing that I do is study the anatomy chart. I'd suggest that you study that so you can see the direction that the muscle fibers work upon, the attachment points, the insertion points, obviously the origin of the muscle. So study the kinesiology as well, how the muscle group moves. And when you picture that and visualize that, you can get that mind-muscle connection that much more, and sometimes get someone else to tap the muscle. So if you're doing rear raises, get your training partner to tap your rear delts as you're doing it, and it just helps fire those neurons to get a better contraction.
Sean on Facebook asks, should I wear a belt while doing this workout?
You can, you don't have to. I generally do, because the reason why I got into bodybuilding is because I got a severe curvature of my spine that I got from many, many years racing motocross. And so I always wear a belt, not always just to support my back, but to remind myself to support my back as well. But I always wear them on leg days and back days. But obviously it's a delt day today, and I'm just wearing it just to remind myself and to keep my core tight, because I've got one of those waists that is a little bit blocky, and I want to be conscious of that so I don't engage my torso too much.
Here's a question from Dark on YouTube. I'm new to lifting. Should I use protein to build muscle?
Yeah, of course. You know, protein is your bodybuilding blocks for building muscle. If you are breaking down your muscle tissue in the gym, you are actually losing muscle. The only way that you will actually build that muscle up is kind of called hormesis. So you cause an inflammatory or stressor response, and then it's your job to allow that muscle to recover by feeding it protein. Obviously, it's going to come in the form of food, first of all, but immediately post-workout, you need to have a fast digesting protein. So I suggest that you have what's called Kaged, Kaged, straight after your workout.
A question from YouTube. What shoes are you wearing?
I'm wearing my rider wears. I always wear rider wears in the gym, always. The reason being is because they're very flat-footed, flat-soled. So as long as I've got more surface contact with my feet to the floor, I feel a lot more stable. Obviously, I don't wear these running or anything like that. I do have flat feet anyway, so I wear something completely different outside of the gym. All right, thank you for the rest. Much needed. All right, so I will choose the same weights again. 15 reps. Remember, try not to squeeze your traps when you're doing this exercise, so do not raise back, raise out to the sides. Keep your traps down and focus on those rear heads of the delts. All right, 10 reps. So that is it for rear delts. So those supersets back and forth has really destroyed my rear delts. Now I'm going to go on to that antagonistic muscle group, being the front delts, the anterior head. So I'm going to lie down on an incline. I'm going to pop it up a little bit higher than 45 degrees, probably about 55. I'm going to lie down on there, raise up, and then I'm going to flip myself over and raise up as well. I want to get a full range of motion from the fully stretched position up to about 45 degrees. Then I'll flip over, and that area that I was missing, I'm able to cause more resistance by inclining my torso, so I can get a full range of motion out of the delts here. So let me grab the lighter weights here, because I'll dare say I'll need them. I'm going to go 10s and then 20s, and I can answer any questions in the meantime.
On YouTube, Star asks, what are your thoughts on doing the DTP program for 6 months?
DTP for 6 months is probably going to be overkill. You can incorporate it a couple of times per week into your workouts, but if you're going to do it every single day, you're probably going to suffer from central nervous system fatigue, because it's so intense and barbaric on your fast twitch muscle fibers, your slow twitch muscle fibers, your anaerobic and aerobic system. You're utilizing a lot of your glycolytic energy sources within there as well. And so I'd suggest, if you're going to follow it purely for about 4 weeks, you can do so and then cycle back into it, or you can follow it for 6 months by just putting it into your workouts a couple of times a week.
Here's a question from DGen313 on Twitch. One issue I have while doing shoulder shrugs is I tend to get headaches after and tightness in the neck. Any advice to help mitigate this?
Right, okay, that's interesting. Never heard of that. I've heard of these pressure headaches because I've had them before, particularly on leg day or when you're in a bent over position like on deadlifts and stuff like that, but never on shrugs. So just ensure that you are definitely hydrated on those days. Another thing that I'd suggest is probably manipulation, so massage. Get massage done into the area, because you may have a lot of scar tissue, and if the blood is passing through to your brain and you're getting a headache and the blood cannot pass back through the scar tissue, maybe that's where you're getting the pressure from. So I'd suggest having a lot of massage to that area to try to loosen up or break up any scar tissue you may possibly have.
Misty from YouTube asks, what cage muscle supplement will you take post-workout?
Post-workout, I'll take Recaged every single time. So I've got my Recaged ready in my other shaker there, and I'll have that immediately after my workout, because I'll do cardio after this. So before I do the cardio is when I have the Recaged, because I want to prevent any more catabolism than what I'm already encountering here in the gym. So Recaged immediately following, then I'll do my cardio. It helps transport the fast digesting peptides into my localized areas even quicker. All other times I just take the whey isolate when needed. Okay, right, so front raises. So I'm going to start with the 20s. And then I'll probably go down to the 10s. Again, I'm doing 15 reps to begin with, supersetted with 10 repetitions. All right, let's have us some fun. Okay, then straight to the front for 10 reps. Oh, gee, that was tough. So when I started on the incline, you'll notice that my palms were in a neutral position, just to keep my arms as tight to my side as possible. Then I'd pronate it and I'd stop at a 45-degree angle. The reason why I stopped there is because I can feel the anterior head start to disengage. When it starts to disengage, that's when I pause, hold it, and then go back down. And then flipping over, I have to half that weight just in order to get that top end of the range of motion. And I'm already fatigued, so I'm not even pausing on there. So I think you'll like that one.
Kevin from Facebook asks, what is the best exercise for back of the delts near your traps?
So I think I just did it. The back of the delts near your traps. So doing the rear raise supported and then superset that with a conventional rear raise. Because I think when so many people do the conventional rear raise first, they bring in their rhomboids, they bring in their traps and their lumbar, where this isolates that area that much more. And then you can superset it where you have extra assistance because you've already pre-fatigued the rear delts.
Here's a question from YouTube. In your opinion, what's the best pre-workout meal? I think you had mentioned the supplement, but what about a meal? Like, what's your post-workout meal?
So this has changed over the years. And what I have as my pre-workout meal now is my whey protein isolate. So it's the Kaged Muscle Micro Pure Whey Protein Isolate with cream of rice. You could have oats, you can have cream of wheat, but I just found cream of rice has worked very well for me. So I'll have that mixed with the Micro Pure Whey Protein Isolate. Because it digests so fast, it doesn't require that much blood in the stomach. And when you come into the, doesn't require much blood in the stomach to digest it. So when you come into the gym, all the blood just goes directly to the muscles after you've had your pre-workout supplements, as opposed to still trying to break down the food. Especially as you get long in the tooth like me, it gets a little bit harder to digest those foods. So I do supplements as well with a HCl and a digestive enzyme.
This is probably more topical because of your recent shoulder surgery. This is a question from YouTube. What steps do you take for injury prevention? Say this is your shoulder exercise.
For injury prevention, yeah, because like I had shoulder surgery, this side, last year, had my labrum reattached, and I've separated both my AC joints before. I've had various problems outside of the gym more than anything, not in the gym. But to prevent those issues coming up, don't do exercises that feel abnormal. So weirdly enough, if I do behind the neck press, it feels good for me. That doesn't feel good for a lot of people, so don't do those exercises. But make sure that you warm up this area from the rotator cuffs, inwards to outwards, because as your outer delts become bigger and stronger, your rotator cuff muscles become weaker. Okay, so make sure that you're doing plenty of rotator cuff movements, holding a dumbbell or a cable, rotating out, across, or abducting away from the body and adducting towards the body. Maybe do several sets of that 2 or 3 times a week before your shoulder workout, before your chest workout, before your back workout. Okay, ready to rock and roll again. Where's my weights? There. Okay, front delts again, baby. 15 reps. So that's as high as I'll go, because any higher than that feels like the muscles disengage. So I reached failure at about 13 repetitions there. So I just incorporated a rest pause principle then so I could get the 15 reps out. Okay, 10 reps now. 2, 25 reps total. That felt good.
Dave on Facebook said, can you demonstrate the proper way to perform the Arnold press? I see so many people butcher it, and it's a great exercise if done correctly.
Okay, the Arnold press, for sure, I'll do that. So I'm going to do this standing now so I don't have to turn the seat around. But make sure that your arms are in front like that when you do it to begin with. Think of like a side raise along with a shoulder press. So palms are facing towards you when you begin this exercise. Then your palms rotate in front of you as you get to the top. So it's like this. Hopefully I'm not butchering this for you. That's how I like to perform it. And I find, I get a real good delt pump doing that. I don't want to do too many more reps because I won't be able to do this.
Tanya on Facebook asks, I love a great shoulder day and delt. What's your top 3 moves to round shoulders?
To round shoulders, it all comes from here to begin with. It's not so much a move, because I do pretty much every move for my delts. It's the way they're performed and it's the amount of reps and intensity that you apply. So I don't like to do the usual 8 to 12 repetitions or 6 to 8 repetitions. Generally, I'll do like 15 repetitions and upwards. I like to do a lot of drop sets, supersets, giant sets, circuits. I find that's what's worked with my delts because I've always had weak delts, particularly my front delts and side delts. And I found that just doing a lot of volume and increasing the intensity, i.e. the rest periods, shortening the rest periods, got my delts to grow.
This question on YouTube is from Piece of Bacon.
Piece of bacon.
What is your opinion on the anabolic window?
The anabolic window, I think it's for real, because a lot of people will discount it and say, oh, it's a lot of bullshit. You think about it, you've just created scar tissue. So if you cut yourself, now the body needs to repair that scar, repair and scar itself as soon as humanly possible, okay? So it can repair and grow. And then a week later, you have no scarring. So you are doing that to muscle groups, a lot of muscle fibers. And the only way that you can repair it is not having a hot bath to soothe it or anything like that, or cuddle. It's going to be protein. So your body is starved of that protein. It will suck it up like a sponge. So at any given time, let's say your body can only absorb, say, 20 grams of protein. You can absorb around 30 grams of protein at that time. And why would you wait for that anabolic window to pass? You know, you may have like food or a protein blend or casein or something like that. Doesn't make sense. You need to have a very small peptide and a very fast digesting protein to get into your system immediately post-workout. If I don't have protein immediately post-workout, guess what? I feel it the next day. I don't feel like I've fully recovered, and I'm only putting 90% into my workouts because my recovery dictates the performance of my workout. So try both. Try not having protein post-workout and try having isolate post-workout. You'll soon feel the difference. All right, ready to rock and roll. Last set, best set. Superset this. Now facing down on the same bench. Finish strong. So if any of you are just tuning in and you want to try my pre-workout, my intra-workout, my post-workout, or any of the supplements by Kaged Muscle, you can get them 30% off right now, but today only. That sale discontinues after today, so 30% off all Kaged Muscle supplements right now, so you can try it. And I'm pretty sure once you've tried the quality, you'll be loyal.
Mohit on YouTube asks, should I strength train before or after cardio?
Strength train before cardio. If you're going to do cardio first, you know, let's say if you're doing 20, 30, 40 minutes cardio, that's like being a race car driver and then just going around the track. Even though you're going slow, you're going for a good 40 minutes. Now, how much gas are you going to have left for your workout? well, you're going to be low on gas. I suggest that you warm up the muscles. You can do 5 minutes or whatever, like on a treadmill, and then get into your workout, but you wouldn't want to do cardio before.
Jeff from Facebook asks, thanks for the great line of products. As far as your pre, intra, and post supplements, is it okay year-round? Should anything be, like the pre be cycled, or are they okay to take year-round?
No, you take the supplements year-round, because if you are training like me 5 days a week, you're still taking 2 days off the supplements, and you do not have any like crappy artificial like stimulators or anything like that. There's no stimulants in there that are artificial or anything like that. You have like an organic caffeine, you have your tyrosine, taurine. You don't need a cycle off that stuff. And like I said, you're taking it 5 days a week, that's absolutely fine. I take it year round. I take all my supplements year round. The only other thing that I cycle is the Ferrodrox. I'll take that for like 8 weeks and then take a week off and then go back on.
Hillary has a question from YouTube. I want to burn fat but build muscle. Should I do sets of 12 or 15? And how many sets should they be doing? What's a rep set scheme?
It doesn't come down to the repetitions as much. It comes down to your diet. So like if I'm dieting or if I'm putting on muscle and I get my clients to do the same, the repetitions are usually around the same. I usually go towards the high repetitions for building muscle and fat loss. So it's usually around the 15 repetition mark. The only thing that I change is I increase the cardio and decrease the calories or clean those calories up. So maybe less fat calories, good fats obviously, and more protein and carbohydrates, but go into a calorie deficit as opposed to a calorie surplus. Okay, so the third exercise that we have now, okay, is a side raise. Now, it may sound a little bit confusing if you're going to read this, is a front dumbbell side raise, supersetted with a rear dumbbell side raise. So when I mention front, you are starting from the front here with the dumbbells. So you get a little bit of momentum from that bottom position as opposed to going from the side. So we're going to start off there. We're going to go 15 repetitions. So this helps target that area between your front delt and your side delt. We're right there, okay, coming from the front. So there's a little bit of a void that you need to fill. And then once we're done there, I'm going to drop the weight, and I'm going to come behind the back and try to get past my big ass here and come out to the side. Getting that full stretch and coming to the rear will get the rear portion of your side delt, okay? Now, because that muscle group is smaller, you will find it a lot harder, so you'll have to go a lot lighter. All right, let's see what weights we have here. We got 40, we got 30. Let me try the 40s to begin with. 15 repetitions, supersetting down to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3. Okay. Now these dumbbells have to touch each time behind your back. Well, I didn't have one more rep, so I picked a really good right weight there. I want to sit down so bad. All right, so let me answer some of your questions here, kids.
A question from YouTube. When is the correct time to work out? Morning, afternoon, or evening?
Whatever suits you. Everyone has a different circadian rhythm. Some people like to go to bed late at night. Some people, like myself, far from a party animal, likes to be in bed by 9 o'clock in the evening. So I'm good in the morning. The only change that I make when I train early in the morning is that I do more warm-up sets because my body hasn't woken up adequately then, haven't got a better blood supply. So if you prefer to train in the morning, I usually do because I have a busy work schedule throughout the day and it's hard for me to break it up, then you can do that. It all comes down to you personally. It doesn't make any other difference other than what works for you.
Misty from YouTube asks, do you have a vegan cage muscle protein option?
No, we do not have a vegan cage muscle protein option, but we will next year. We've been working on this protein for quite a while, so 2020 is when you will be getting that. But we have amino synergy, which is an essential amino acid formula, and it's fermented amino acids, okay? So they're perfect for vegans. So if you want to maintain your muscle protein synthesis, studies have proven that 1 scoop of amino synergy is the equivalent of 20 grams of protein when it comes to muscle protein synthesis.
Jonathan on YouTube asks, do you recommend using creatine during a cutting season?
Yeah, of course. I use creatine all the time. Like a lot of people say, oh, I shouldn't use creatine when I'm cutting because I may hold fluid. Well, if you are the kind of person that doesn't break down creatine monohydrate, then try, for instance, our creatine HCl, or we have a creatine called CreaClear, which is a completely soluble creatine monohydrate, and you won't hold fluid on that either. So I always use it because if you think about it, if you're able to get 1 or 2 more repetitions out because you've got a better ATP, adenosine triphosphate production, okay, and you're able to gain a little bit more muscle, that muscle density is going to require more calories to burn it off. So you can actually get leaner taking creatine. All right, I'm ready to rock and roll again. All right, side raises. Starting with 40 pounds. Okay, this is to the front. 1, 2, 8, 5, 10, 8, 10, 10. Oh man, that was good. So you'll notice when I come to the front, I'm using just a little bit of controlled cheating to get the weight up, but just to then pass my legs at the beginning. So that is absolutely fine as long as you're controlling that. Now, again, I just want to thank you ever so much for nominating us within the Bodybuilding.com Awards, which is Kaged Muscle. We've been nominated as Brand of the Year, Kaged Muscle. We've also been nominated as the Breakout Product of the Year, which is the Kaged Muscle Amino Synergy, Protein of the Year, which is our Micro Pure Whey Protein Isolate, and Trainer Influencer of the Year, myself, Kris Gethin. So if you could go and vote, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Now let's win this thing.
How long, this is a question from YouTube, how long before I train should I take my pre-caged?
Okay, I like to take it 40 minutes. We suggest 30 to 40 minutes. I personally like to take it 40 minutes before. I take quite a lot of fluid. I drink a lot, so 40 minutes before is my sweet spot, and then I start drinking my in-caged as soon as I start working out.
A follow-up question to that, what happens if you don't have time or you take it 10 minutes before your workout? What could happen?
If you take it 10 minutes before your workout, it's not going to kick in whilst you're starting your workout. It's going to kick in during. But what I do, if I'm always short on time, I'll take it with a lot less fluid, because then if it's less diluted, it's going to be more concentrated to get into your system that much quicker.
A question from YouTube. I love Kaged Muscle supplements. Any plans of launching Recaged with more servings like your casing?
No, we're not going to be releasing that with more servings. So for instance, I just take it with 1 scoop. So all of our pre-workout, intra-workout, and post-workout is a 1 month supply. If you're like me and you're training 5 days a week, you take 1 scoop of each one of those products, and that gives you 1 month. So no, we have no plans of increasing that. You know, it doesn't make it any cheaper. A lot of people think if we have more servings, it makes it cheaper. It doesn't make it cheaper. Just buy 2 containers.
Here's a question about workouts. Is it okay to train shoulders the day after a chest workout?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Training shoulders the day after a chest workout is fine. What I wouldn't do is train shoulders and then do chest the following day, because your anterior head of your delts does come into a lot of assistance with a lot of your pressing movements for chest. So I wouldn't do delts then chest, but chest and then delts is absolutely fine.
Kim says, good morning. I'll be trying Kaged Muscle today. Have not tried it yet.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Well, I really appreciate that. Please do give us your feedback. Go onto the Bodybuilding.com review page, and I'd love to read your honest review. That would be awesome. Thank you. All right. I've got the thumbs up. I'm ready to go. One more set. So what do we always say about the last set? It's your best set. Oh my God. Ah, that was so painful, it got me aroused. I love it, I love it. I love having not the best genetics by any means, because it gives you a sense of urgency to outwork yourself. If you don't have the genetics or muscle groups that respond as good as, say, other people, don't compare yourself to those other people. Do whatever you can to accomplish what others would deem as impossible. When people say you can't do that, that's a great opportunity for you to prove to yourself with the power of your mind that you can do it. It all comes down to how bad you want it and how big of a sacrifice that you're willing to make in order to witness that success for yourself.
So a great question on YouTube here. Can I repeat the same body area the next day if the first day was incomplete or they weren't satisfied with it?
No, you cannot repeat that workout the next day if you weren't satisfied with your workout the day prior, because you know what? That gives you a ticket to go hit it again when you failed the day before, and you could easily fail the next time because you think, well, I can hit it the next day. You need to suffer the whole of this week thinking about how shit your workout was, because it all comes down to you at the end of the day, not your environment, not because you didn't have any sleep the day before, you had an argument with the missus. It comes down to you. So you need to suffer this week and psych yourself up for the next workout to make it 10 times better than the one that you had yesterday.
John from YouTube asks, do you follow a periodization cycle for weightlifting, like higher reps, lower weights during the off season, and lower reps, higher weight during the peak?
No, I do not. A lot of the time I'll do what's called DTP, where I do high reps and low reps all in one workout. I train instinctively. I go into the gym sometimes with a set workout, but then instead of hitting back, I'll do legs, because I'm just not feeling that strong. I'm just not feeling it that day. I'm very instinctive. I generally do not have a workout structure. Sometimes I do, sometimes I stick to it, sometimes I don't. So mine is very instinctive. I go by how my body feels. I've been training for over 20 years now, so I kind of know what my body wants and doesn't want. And it works for me because, I've been doing this for, like I said, 20 years. And if I want my body to respond, I can get it to respond.
Kim asks on Facebook, what product has the fermented aminos?
Okay, what product has the fermented aminos? So our essential amino acid formula, which is called Amino Synergy. We also have coconut water powder and electrolytes. We have a caffeinated version, which is organic caffeine, and a non-caffeinated version. But all of our amino acids, such as our glutamine, our citrulline, our branched chain amino acids, are all fermented derived, natural sources. Okay. And if you want to try any of the supplements right now from Kaged Muscle, you can have 30% off for today. It's only for today only. Tomorrow, we will not have that 30% off. So if you want to try any of the Kaged Muscle supplements, 30% off from Bodybuilding.com. Check it out. All right, so I have one more set. How many sets have I done here? 2? Or is that? No, that's all of them, isn't it? Okay, so we got the next exercise. So I need to flip this machine around because we are finishing with a compound movement. Quite often, I like to finish with a compound because then it takes away a lot of the stress from my tendons and ligaments. There we go. And by doing so, I cannot train as heavy on the compound movement. So I like to pre-fatigue with a lot of side raises, front raises, rear raises before going into my compound movement. And I find I get a better mind-muscle connection doing it that way. So what we're going to do is a seated dumbbell shoulder press, 10 repetitions. Then I'm immediately going to go to a standing shoulder press with a lighter weight for 10 repetitions as well. So when I'm going from a seated to a standing, I'll go a wider stance. I'll get a little bit of assistance out of my torso. I may even bounce up on my calves for the last couple of reps there, just to get a couple more reps out. Okay, so watch, look, learn by observation. You can apply it to yourself. So let's start off with the 50 pounds here, and then probably drop down to the 40s or 30s, depending on how I feel. Again, instinctive. Ooh. Ooh. Drop down again, 5 more reps. 4, 2, 2, 2. Oh wow. God, when I grab the weights for the standing, they seem twice as heavy as the seated. I'm just gonna get my elbow strap here a second. So, if I do feel just a little bit of strain in my tendons on my elbows, it's not painful by any means, but I like to use a preventative measure, so I'll use my elbow wraps here. I think you guys sell Gym Reapers, don't you? So this is a Gym Reaper brand that I use. So I use the wraps here for my wrists, because I've broken my wrists, and I'll use the strap if needed for my elbows or my knees, you know.
Tim from Facebook asks, I find myself doing the same workouts since it's what I know. How do I switch up the workout or increase the reps and the weight or reps?
Okay, so what I suggest is that you go on to Bodybuilding.com on all access, and you'll see my daily video trainers on there. I've got muscle building video trainers. I've got the hardcore video trainers, which is both fat loss and muscle building. DTP video trainers. I've got loads of video trainers on there. Search my name. You'll see the workouts change week in and week out to continue to shock the muscle. But if there's a certain exercise that you don't like, discard it. You know, much like I may read a book, you read a book, but there's chapters in there that apply to me and not yourself. So I suggest that you follow those daily video trainers that has everything for your training, nutrition, supplementation, and a video for you to watch every single day.
Vivek on YouTube asks, can I start my strength building phase with DTP?
Yeah, you can start your strength building phase with DTP. That's absolutely fine, because you will be targeting both your fast twitch muscle fibers and your slow twitch muscle fibers. So you'll be applying sarcoplasmic hypertrophy as well as myofibrillar hypertrophy, because you're targeting both areas of intensity.
Any plan, this is a question from Stacy on YouTube, any plans to bring out a second flavor in the caffeine-free version of Amino Synergy?
Yes, we will be bringing out a new flavor. So the flavors that we have within the caffeinated, such as the peach tea, we will be coming out with non-caffeinated versions of those as well.
Question from YouTube, can I have Encaged and Hydrocharge as an intra workout, and what would be the best combo?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. You can take Encaged and Hydrocharge. All you're doing is basically adding more electrolytes and antioxidants to your formula. So you can do 1 scoop of each mixed together. That's absolutely fine. A lot of our athletes do that as well, actually. Okay, ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to go a little bit heavier with the seated shoulder press, because I did like 16 repetitions there, but I'm going to go lighter on the standing. So I got 50s here. We got 60s, I think, behind you. If I can grab those, that would be great. I can Oh, do you want to shoulder press them for me as well? Thank you, sir. All right. Right, so we'll try the 60 pounds now. I used to go very heavy on these, but now I'm a little bit smarter, I like to think. So I try to apply the stress onto my delts for the mind-muscle connection. That's a bit light as well. Okay, 10 reps. That's a perfect weight. Damn. I need a rest now. I gotta sit down. Whew.
Nubin on YouTube wants to know what your thoughts are on mass gainers.
Mass gainers. I'm not into mass gainers. Never have been. I like to make my own mass gainer, and I get my clients to make their own mass gainer as well. So what I suggest, I need to get my breath back, is having the Kaged muscle micropure isolate. So it's a very high premium isolate with a digestive enzyme. And then you can add oats to that. So there's your carbohydrates and there's your protein. Then with your fats, you can add some chopped nuts or some almond butter or some flax seeds or anything like that. Blend that up. And there's your mass gainer, all clean ingredients that you can measure.
On YouTube, Mindy asks, I know we had a question previously about vegan proteins, and you have something in the works for next year. Are your supplements vegetarian friendly?
Yes, all of our supplements are vegetarian friendly. Obviously, if you take dairy, because I know there's some vegetarians, like in India, that do not have dairy. So remember, our recaged and our isolate and our casein has dairy in it. Everything else, as you can imagine, if we have a fermented amino acid, they're all vegetarian friendly. If you look at our capsules, like in our Clean Burn or in our carnitine, they're all veggie-based capsules, okay? So they're vegetarian friendly too.
Kris from YouTube, little throwback for your Ironman. In regards to your Ironman training from a couple years ago, was the idea to pre-fatigue your muscles with weight training and then do cardio right afterwards?
Yeah, so I still do a lot of my Ironman training. I'm still out running. Went out for 11 miles on Saturday up into the Sawtooths, which was absolutely phenomenal. But what I do, I pre-fatigue. So for instance, I'll do a leg workout before I go do my hill sprints or a long bike ride. I'll go and smash my back, my lats, and my triceps before going for a swim. So then evidently I don't have to run as far as I'd have to if I didn't pre-fatigue. So that's why I was able to, complete my Ironman events with minimal training compared to what a lot of Ironman athletes do. However, remember, that's all they do. They're not weight training a lot of the time. We are. So if we want to be a hybrid athlete, then you use your weight training as a pre-fatigue model.
Alexis on Facebook wants to know, will Kaged Muscle have a multivitamin anytime soon?
Yes, 2020. Again, this is a supplement that we've been working on since we started working on Ferrodrox back in 2015. So it's taken a long time. We're actually going through our first batch of samples a while back, and we're on our second batch of samples right now. So, this is all natural as well, organic, naturally grown vitamins. They're not synthetic, and they have effective dosages specifically for athletes. All right, ready to rock and roll again. So I'm going to go up to 70. Sorry to be a pain in the ass. Can I access them there? Yeah, I can get them. Thank you. Ugh. Man, look at all these dumbbells around me. I'm that arsehole in the gym, with all the dumbbells. Okay, and then standing, wide stance. You may find it a little bit hard to breathe on this exercise, at least I do. Whew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Damn. So on the last few repetitions there, you'll notice that I had a slight bounce out of my knees and calves just as a bit of assistance so I could complete those reps and work the negative, much like if you've got a spot.
Derek from YouTube asks, putting food aside, can I lose can I lose fat by weight training alone without cardio?
Yeah, you can lose body fat with weight training alone without cardio. It's just going to be more difficult. So I consider cardio as a spike to my metabolism to better assimilate the foods that I've just taken in. So I don't think of it as just purely fat loss for the portion of time that I'm doing my cardio. I think of it as assimilation. So I'll do a cardio in the morning and a cardio in the evening, and I do that year round. Yeah, you can do it. Of course, you can lean out, diet alone, dependent on your metabolism as well. But if you want to speed up the process, you do cardio too.
Dev from YouTube asks, my triceps is a legging body part. I work them a lot, but they are not building as they should. Any suggestions? Okay,
maybe you're training them too much. Remember, it all comes down to quality, not quantity. So I'd suggest that you train them twice a week, so maybe on a Monday and a Friday. Prioritize more compound movements on one of those days. Prioritize more isolation movements on another day. What I like to do is a circuit on one of those days. So you could go from a standing tricep extension to an overhead tricep extension to head smackers to bench dips to close grip push-ups. That's one set, one circuit. Repeat that 5 times after you've had a couple of minutes rest between your sets. Like that will destroy your triceps. And then on the second workout of that week, maybe just do a conventional workout of what you've been doing, but it has to be to absolute failure. Remember, it's that 1 or 2 reps. Pretend someone's got a gun to your head. Those are the reps that you complete are the ones that are going to get the triceps to grow. You know, it all comes down to your head as opposed to a genetic disposition. And make sure you do that at the beginning of your workout. Don't do biceps and then triceps. Don't do chest and then triceps. Do your triceps first.
Demac88 on Twitch asks, how often do you recommend switching up your routine to prevent plateaus and strength gains?
Well, I like to switch up my routine quite often, but there's staple exercises that I'll always keep in there because I know there's certain exercises that work very well for me. So for instance, I'll always do dumbbell pressing for my chest because it works really, really well for me. But then I'll swap up a couple of exercises to keep the muscle group guessing, or I'll prioritize my upper pecs one day, and the next week I'll prioritize my lower pecs. But if you keep changing all the exercises every week, how do you know which ones are working and which ones aren't? So you'd want to follow a suggested workout for about 8 to 12 weeks to see if it works for you. If it doesn't, then you swap it up. And once you've done that over, say, a 6-month period, you'll know which exercises you should keep in as a staple and which ones to swap out. Okay, all right, so remember, guys, if you want to try any of the Kaged muscle supplements right now, it's 30% off, okay? Only today, though, on Bodybuilding.com. And if you already take Kaged muscle supplements, of course, you can take advantage of that sale. But please vote for us in the Bodybuilding.com awards. We are up for Trainer, Influencer of the Year, myself, Kris Gethin, and the Breakout Product of the Year, the Protein of the Year, the Brand of the Year. So please do vote now. Okay, have I got one more set? Or am I done? Oh, I'm done. I am done, baby. Okay, so make sure that you have your re-caged right now if you're following this workout, because you need to obviously recover yourself. And then I'm going to go and do cardio, as should you, because the most important muscle is your heart. So thank you ever so much for joining me. Please do tune in next time. And if there's any particular body part that you want me to come and smash, let us know. Peace out. Thank you very much.
This program was designed to develop your overall athleticism. We created Mind Body Fit to help women achieve all-over wellness. You'll find tons of articles on nutrition, exercise, and even beauty.
Shoulders define your upper body. Just add these 2 workouts into your split each week to build bigger and more defined delts.
With my KINGMAKER program, you'll build muscle and a special kind of mental toughness that can overcome any challenge.
With MetaBurn 90, all you'll need is a few dumbbells and 30 minutes or less a day to burn fat and achieve peak fitness in a very short, concentrated amount of time.
Everything is laid out for you in detail.
We're positive you'll find unique pieces that will help you feel your best every single day.
Control your world, but it all starts with you. Only at Bodybuilding.com, all access.